It all started when I came home from work. I lived alone in a small house on the outskirts of the city, which I inherited from my parents. When I got home, I did my usual stuff, heated up some leftovers, had a cup of tea and checked the news online. I was about to go to bed, as I was very tired. I got into bed and fell asleep almost right away. But my sleep was interrupted by a quiet knock on the window. I was half asleep and thought it was just a dream, but the knock repeated. I listened and realized that it was not a random sound. It was something like a melody. I was annoyed and thought it was some kids from the neighborhood messing around, but I jumped out of bed and went to the window. I pulled the blinds and looked around, but there was no one, and the knock stopped. I thought the kids ran away when they saw that I woke up. I didn't close the blinds so I could see better if they came back. That was my biggest mistake. I went back to bed and tried to fall asleep again, but I heard the knock again. I was mad as hell and opened my eyes to see who was so bold, but what I saw made me freeze in horror. In the light of the street lamp, I clearly saw what was knocking on my window. It was something that looked like a person, but with a terrifying face. It had no eyes, just black holes. Its mouth was open to its ears, like the creatures from the movie Grave Encounters. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear. When I finally came to myself, I grabbed everything that was at hand and ran out of the house. I ran, without looking back. I was afraid to see that it was following me. I ran until I fell from exhaustion. I looked back and sighed with relief. I was alone. I decided to spend the night at my friend's, who I worked with. I told him everything that happened, but he didn't believe me. He thought I took some drug. When the morning came, he lent me his clothes so I could get to my house. When I got to my house, I saw that there was police there. I wanted to ask what happened, but when I got closer, I saw that the window at the neighbor's was broken. They were taking bodies out of the house in bags. I understood everything. I don't want to think what they went through. My window was also broken. I packed all my stuff and decided that I would never come back here. I sold the house for cheap and said that I was moving to another city. The house quickly found new owners. I pray that they don't repeat the fate of my neighbors.